my skin. Stack up those dreams, won't let them go. Some way, somehow, my day will come. This is my time, gonna light it up. Stepping out into the unknown. Stepping out, oh, stepping out to whatever's coming on. Stepping out, I'm a man on fire. Sounds crazy, but I never lose. Oh, you know I'm gonna give it all I got. Do what I came to do. I'm a man on fire, and my day is overdue. This burn is never gonna stop. Do what I came to do. I'm a man on fire. But back to the wall is how I live my life. I risk it all, put it on the line, then blow it up every single time. It's a big world, I'll take it in. If I don't try, how can I win? This chance might never come again. Stepping out into the unknown. Stepping out, oh, stepping out to whatever's coming on. Stepping out, I'm a man on fire. Sounds crazy, but I never lose. Oh, you know I'm gonna give it all I got. Do what I came to do. I'm a man on fire, and my day is overdue. This burn is never gonna stop. Do what I came to do. I'm a man on fire. Oh, 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 oh. I'm a man on fire. Oh, 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 oh. I'm a man on fire. Stepping out into the unknown. Stepping out, oh, stepping out to whatever's coming on. Stepping out, I'm a man on fire. Sounds crazy, but I never lose. Oh, you know I'm gonna give it all I got. Do what I came to do. I'm a man on fire, and my day is overdue. This burn is never gonna stop. Do what I came to do. I'm a man on fire. I'm a man on I'm a man on fire.
Houston, this is Atlantis. We have liftoff. Atlantis, this is Houston. Happy trails. Welcome to Uranus. We're gonna get into some stuff tonight. Let's do it, dude. We have liftoff. Apparently, I mean, like the last one that we did, we're like, man, when's the liftoff? Right? Well, we went full Sandy over here, man. We went full Sandy all the way out to Uranus, man. What is going on in the world, man? Like, what is going on? Like, I mean, how did Bud Light just start trending? I'm confused. Just as much as probably every other redneck that grew up in the woods saying, "Hold my beer and watch this," but they did it anyway, man. They did it with chocolate bars. Now they're doing it with your beloved Bud Lights.
Who gave clearance to the advertising and marketing department, man?
As somebody who, you know, I don't drink Bud Light products. I've never been a Bud Light fan.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was Poe, I was drinking like that Bud Select, the black can, the king of beers. But it's amazing how they went from the king of beers to the king of rears. or Queen of Rears, whatever you want to call it these days. I'm sorry. Like, are we still back on the normalization game of this
Oh
with
man,
marketing and advertising and stockholders and the whole 9 yards? I mean, have enough
man.
companies not figured out, like, if you alienate your base, you will definitely see it in your pocketbook.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm confused on how
This is like one of those things. It's a self-inflicted wound, man. I mean,
it's
it's
like
just
watching your drunk friend, sit there and shotgun 12 more Bud Lights and then lay down and say, "Hey man, I got the runs. We shouldn't have eaten at Taco Bell." No, it's not the Taco Bell, bro. It might be the Taco Bell, right? But it's it's like the case of Bud Lights that you did. You shotgunned them, and now you're so drunk, you're just doing things that aren't. They're just I can't even. This we're trying to keep this real, right? But
I
you
know.
you
Well, I
get what I'm
can't. I
saying,
just
man.
can't. I can't
Everybody
wrap my
had
head.
those heydays back in the day, man. They
Yeah.
did. Like, oh man, dude, I should not have drank that much, and
Yep.
and the Bud Light hangovers, the Budweiser hangovers, man, were like
Yeah.
in my mind were the worst. That's why I drink Corona, man.
Yep.
Like dude, you know your limits with that stuff, but I mean,
Yep.
they were like Anheuser-Busch, king of beers,
Yep.
man. Real men of genius. Well, we got some real men of genius stuff going on now, don't we?
Oh yeah,
Right,
they're getting. I mean, there's memes and there's some great memes
man.
out there. They're blowing them up. I mean, what I don't understand is the board of directors and the shareholders should be freaking going out of their minds. I
Yeah.
mean, this is what at one time was one of the most iconic brands for beer out
You
there.
remember
I
the
mean, you
big
go,
Clydesdale horses that would
oh my
pull the beer
God, you
wagon
just
and stuff, man?
destroyed.
Just
You just
you
you
ruined
just
a legacy,
single-handedly.
man.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the next earnings report that comes out. I think they're going to get just crushed. In Bev, I think they're in the 60s. They're going to get just crushed. I think you're going to find that a lot of
Maybe they're
bars
banking
and
on the COVID alcoholism, man, to keep them afloat, dude.
I
I mean,
don't
like the
know.
post-COVID lockdown alcoholism will keep them afloat. Maybe I
The
don't
only
know.
way they're going to keep this from being pulled from the shelves eventually is paying these
Dude, there's
retailers to
Hershey's
keep it.
bars at the Walmart in the clearance sections from that campaign they did with She Hers or whatever it was, candy bars.
Right,
I
right.
mean, like there's still that stuff is still like it's sitting around like nobody wanted to buy it.
Yeah, collecting
Nope.
dust.
And now it's like marked down. I don't care. I'm not eating your chocolate, man. Your chocolate's
Yep.
crap anyway,
Yep.
right? Your beer's crap anyway. Bud Light,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, and that's what happened with companies. They get nervous. They don't want to be. They want to be inclusive, and then they make a decision. But here's the problem: these are publicly held companies. They're shareholders that they have to be accountable to. And I'm guarantee you, man, some big shareholders out there are going to be tearing into those executives and those board members.
What was it? Bud Light's statement was they said the pact with the trans activist Dylan Mulvaney helps authentically connect with audiences, right? There's nothing that's more authentic than a man acting like a woman that still has his man parts, right? Hanging out in a bubble bath, talking all freaky like a girl and stuff, right? And
Right,
there's nothing
right.
more authentic, man, to celebrate, something authentic, right?
I'm just so
This
troubled
is such
by.
a slap in the face to women, dude. It
Oh,
really is.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just so troubled by that they think this is okay. It's very disturbing to me. It's disturbing to for young kids. It confuses people. I mean, it's just in
Yeah.
bad taste, you
Yes,
know?
it's confused. I mean, is 100%, man. I mean, like some people are saying, well, man, you really like. I think drinking aged trans people, and I'm using that term properly, right? They're trans people.
Right.
I'm not discounting that there are people that live that in that lifestyle or have that, have that in their daily life, right?
Right.
I'm not being mean or facetious to this demographic. What I'm saying is this is possibly 1%. Now, Yeah, if you start looking at the ADL stuff, you know, they talk about 5% of Americans identify or you know are of this spectrum of being trans or not sure who their gender identity is, right? But if you look at the numbers on that, it's from 13 to 17. And wow. Start looking at what's happening with school board meetings and what's being
Right.
taught to our kids, right?
But thinking
I'm old
about
enough
this,
to remember going to the 7-Eleven, bro, and seeing the penthouses and the Hustler magazines behind the counter with the cigarettes and all
Playboy,
that,
High
right?
Society.
Like we kept that out of reach of
Yeah.
the impressionable
And they
youth.
had they had
right?
the cover. They started putting the cover
Yeah,
on them
they
after
had
a
to
while.
put
'cause-
that cover on there because you can still see
Yeah.
hoo-hoos and ha-has and all that
Yeah.
stuff from behind the counter. Sometimes we just stand there and we'd look. I only need 5 minutes here, man. I'm gonna hit the bedroom when I get home, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how the little
Well,
young bucks run back in the day, man.
Yeah, your hormones are raging at that, and you're confused, and you're a kid. Your hormones are you're confused
Yeah.
with what's going on around you, and this even just confuses people even more. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, so you had Kid Rock come out talking about this. You had Travis Tritt. You had John Rich come out. I mean, like multiple country artists
Yeah.
come out. They've basically effectively canceled Anheuser-Busch products from being in their music tours and stuff. Don't know how
Right.
that one's going to work out, right?
I mean, that's huge.
But it's
Huge.
very huge, and I'm just so. I'm confused, man. I guess we had liftoff though. We said when's the liftoff, man. So we ended up in Uranus somewhere, man. Here they're looking for fudge packers too, man. This podcast is not sponsored, but we're gonna go ahead and call it sponsored by Uranus Fudge Factory up in Uranus, Missouri. Right?
That is legitimate.
It's a legitimate place, man. Dude, you can't beat fudge from Uranus, man.
They got some job openings out there.
They're always looking for fudge packers. Hear tell anyway. Oh brother, like what? Can we just have like a normal week?
No,
Can we just
can't.
can we get a normal week, man?
Chris,
Just
there's
like-
so
just-
much stuff coming out. We could have 7 days a week and like 3 shows, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one at night, and we'd be able to have plenty of content.
It just doesn't stop. It's a never and it's a 24-hour news cycle.
As a father of a young male, right? You know, a male, right? I'm raising a man, right? I
Yeah.
hope I'm raising a man, but as a father of a male, man, like you know, not a mailman either, a male, a boy, right?
Yep.
I'm troubled, man, by the world that this kid is being raised in. I'm not
Yeah.
troubled in my parenting skills or my ability to teach him, right?
Right.
I mean, we may end up going Crocodile Dundee style, man. That's not a Sheila, right? You know, I mean, just reach right up in there and grab it, son. You know, I mean, the only way to know is to know for sure, right? You know, I mean, like for reals, man. We're going Crocodile Dundee on this, but I mean, like, I don't want to teach my kid to do that, right? I shouldn't have
Yeah.
to teach my kid to
Right.
do that. But like when you have corporate entities sitting here promoting, like, this is not natural, man.
It's not. Yeah.
There's
It is.
8 billion people. There's 8.5, probably 6 by now, right?
Oh, there's a
8.6 billion people on this spinning rock, right?
Yep.
And none of them were birthed by a man. None
But
of them.
this
Let's set the bar, okay?
Right.
None of them were birthed by a man. Show me
Right.
one that was birthed by a man.
Right.
Please do.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
They're taking. They're just. This is shock and awe. This is commercializing something, and they thought they were gonna get away with it, and now it's blown up in their faces, and they're not gonna acknowledge. They're not gonna backpedal, but they're gonna get hit. They're gonna get crushed. Their sales is just gonna get crushed. I mean, but that's the thing. You affected every major shareholder in that company.
I mean,
know?
women watch March Madness. Right?
Yeah.
Women, there are
Absolutely.
there are
Absolutely.
women.
Well, the women's
like-
March Madness. They have the women's NCAs.
If you don't know what we're talking about, too, I guess we got to give some context, man. man. Bud Light, they got this trans activist, Dylan Mulvaney. He's been a woman he's not even a woman.
A year, maybe a year.
He's been a trans for a year.
Right.
Dude, let me see if I can pull up this footage of, man, this was 365 days of womanhood is what they're calling this and celebrating. This is 75 days of girlhood. Dylan Mulvaney posts this on the YouTubes. A trigger warning for women right here. Okay, this is something that's very close to women. Is that time of the month, and it's probably uncomfortable. I assume it's uncomfortable. Throughout my pubescent stages as a up and coming man in the world, I was always told, man, this is a hard time for women. This is a hard week or so for women, and you need to be nice to them, right? We have to make accommodations, special accommodations for women's hormones, right?
Right.
But we're somehow, I guess that stigma has never gone away, right? Because we still have to do that, but nobody ever has to make accommodations for men hormones, right? That's another, I don't know, conundrum in all of this. But here we have a man acting like he's, having one of these cycles that it's just, is this not mockery of women? And yet, getting $1 million contract with Bud Light. I don't know. Let's watch it. You tell me.
Been carrying around tampons and pads for the past 2 months, but I've actually never opened one up. So let's do it. Woohoo! I thought the letters stood for small, medium, and large based on the size of your Barbie pouch, but after a Google, I found out it's actually the level of your flow. So they're super, regular, and light. I guess my question is, which one do I carry around? The super? Because maybe if you have a light flow, you can still use a super? I don't know.
I'm going to go with none.
Yeah.
Just going to go with none. Even your dog agrees, man.
Here goes nothing. It's pink, it's kind of adorable, and it kind of looks like a butter churn. So you just go like that? Ow. Where does the string go? You are getting sleepy. Now for the real magic, I've got a glass of water in the tampon. I almost put red food coloring in there, but I thought that might be too much.
Yeah, it is too much, you weird individual.
And we're gonna see how this works.
It's not even funny, though. It's not even funny.
Oh, it kind of looks like a butterfly. How long does it take to get to this? This one looks like it would do the job. I feel like I'm in science class. Oh no. Okay, the pad didn't expand, so maybe this is for a light flow? I just don't know. Now that I think about it, I probably should have had a woman come teach me about these things. I was on the boys' side of sex ed, and now I would like to take the girls' class.
I don't think you could find a woman to come and teach you about these things because you still have a penis.
Right.
Oh, did I say a banned word? You still have a penis, right?
Yep.
You're mocking women and what they have to deal with on a monthly basis.
Yep.
It's disgusting that you're doing this and you're profiting from it, but on top of it, that a publicly held company would sit here and promote you as somebody who is authentic, right?
Right. Is
redonkulous, dude. There are way more qualified women to represent, drinking beer. Dude, there are race car women who drive fast, and they're authentic women, and they like to get down and drink beer, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's way more qualified people than this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, she was sponsored by InBev, which is Anheuser-Busch, and all those brands that falls underneath their umbrella. But not only that, there was other manufacturers that have been supporting this too. It's crazy, man. It's just absolutely nuts.
I'm not attacking this person, man. I'm calling it like I see it, man. I really, this is a mockery. All of this is a mockery.
Yeah.
Of the daily struggle that women have to go through.
It's sad.
I'm sorry.
It's sad. Yeah,
it really
it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate.
I remember back in the day, man, we had real men of genius, right? Those montages back in the day. Well, somebody did a montage. Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius with Dylan Mulvaney. Here we go. We'll play it. Real Men of Genius.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Male.
Maybe he is a real man of genius. He figured out, like I don't know, he figured out something to make a lot of coin.
Yeah,
Really did.
Sucker
you know?
to
Football cheerleader.
Mr. Male football cheerleader.
Real men don't just play smash mouth football. Real men turn cartwheels and somersaults on the sidelines to keep safely away from the action.
Don't touch me now.
Fourth down and inches. The game's on the line. It all comes down to you. Will you call for a perky pyramid or a peppy line dance?
Get on.
Peppy line dance.
Knock 'em back, all the way to Hackensack. So grab an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Male football cheerleader. You may never score a touchdown, but you're peppy. That's gotta count for something.
That's gotta count for something. Fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Real men of genius.
Oh my gosh. I'm shocked, dude. I'm blown away, dude. Welcome to Uranus, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. We live in a crazy world, man.
I know
Can't
some of our viewers are probably like, you guys are just hating, man. You're hating.
No, we're just pointing out what's going on
I'm
out
not
there, man.
hating. I'm not hating. I don't drink Bud Light, man. I really don't. I can't tell you the last time. Maybe I had a Bud Light, man. Like this was 10, 12 years ago at a 13, 4. Shoot, man, probably 15 years ago, dude. That's the
I
only
tell you
thing the
what-
venue was selling, though, man.
I bet you
know?
Miller Lite right now is probably freaking got their sales team out there ready to rock and roll, man. Sales are going to be going through the roof.
Ben Shapiro had some stuff to say about this, man. Should we roll some of this and let
Yeah,
everybody,
roll a little bit. We can get into
old Ben.
other
Old
things.
Ben, dude. He, I know some people have some grievances against Ben, but I think Ben's a straight shooter for the most part, unless he's got it on a hot mic. But for the most part, he's speaking the words that a lot of conservatives are probably thinking, and much like we do, right? We speak things that a lot of people don't speak publicly, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind publicly
Right.
because I'm entitled to my opinion under the
Right.
First Amendment. So, but let's hear what Ben has to say. Oh, got to unmute. Come here, Ben. Hey,
This
thank you
can
for
be
the
the
like.
only
We
reason why
appreciate
Bud
that,
Light-
Ryan.
A beer is now promoting itself during March
Thanks, Ryan.
Madness, a male-oriented event, by hiring a man who says he is a woman dressed as Audrey Hepburn to sell you beer. This is a thing that actually happened over the weekend. I thought it was an April Fool's joke. Apparently, it is not an April Fool's joke, or we have no evidence that it was, and it's now April 3rd. Dylan Mulvaney, who is a man masquerading as a woman, was granted a sponsorship by Bud Light. Now, I understand Bud Light is piss water masquerading as beer.
It is.
So I guess that, it's sort of trans beer, I suppose. But
This brings up the old redneck joke, man. What you drinking there, man? I'm drinking a limerita. Oh, that's some queer beer, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they've effectively just like turned their whole product line into, well, what the rednecks used to call queer beer. So,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
Yeah.
nonetheless, Dylan Mulvaney was paid money to advertise Bud Light, and they made a special can of Bud Light with Dylan Mulvaney's face on it. Not like Dylan Mulvaney.
I really hope that was a limited run, Mark. I mean, like for the shareholders. I really hope that was a limited run. Dude.
Oh, there's about 10 warehouse fulls of.
They got like distribution
10
centers
million
like
cans.
just full of these cans, dude. They're like, how are we gonna get rid of this crap? Like,
That's the thing. They're gonna try to bury this, but someone else is always gonna be out there with those cans somewhere, like collecting them or something.
Dude,
I mean, they're gonna be
it's
around
like-
forever.
Yeah, we should just buy a case, man. Just be like, remember when? Like,
Yeah.
just put it in just buy a case, stick it in the garage, dude.
Yeah,
It'll
it's
be
never
green
gonna go
beer in a
away.
year. but just stick it in the garage because you remember when, son. I don't know if you were old enough to realize that Anheuser-Busch, man, they wanted to, they went full woke, man, and this is why we drink Corona in this house, son. Look, just 15 years down the road, this is why we drink Corona up in this bitch, right?
His normal face, like before the jaw surgery, but like Dylan Mulvaney's new face. Here is a little bit of the video of Dylan Mulvaney announcing a sponsorship from Bud Light. By the way, I should just point out here, Dylan Mulvaney, a man who's pretended to be a woman for about a year, is now sponsored by, here's a list, Bud Light, Tampax, Where? Kate Spade, KitchenAid, in the blender, I guess, Plaza Hotel, Stella McCartney, and Crest. And Crest, well, I mean, is this person really moving product? I just have a question. Like, from a capitalistic perspective, is Dylan Mulvaney moving product? Apparently, Bud Light thinks so. So here's Dylan Mulvaney as a sponsored person by Bud Light.
Protected class.
Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So, I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
What a
Check
slap
out
in
my
the
Instagram
face to
see how
women,
you
man.
can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money, too. Love ya!
Love you.
And then Dylan Mulvaney released another video of himself in a bathtub, in a bathing suit, blowing bubbles with the Bud Light. So first of all, just want to point out here how
I mean, if this was like a persona, like if this was all just an act and a persona, like I would like, okay, I probably would not
goofy.
like, I probably would just be like, oh, well, whatever, like whatever. It's, it's Holly weird or whatever. But dude, like you have to think about it. Like this person is very prominent on Twitch and gaming streams and stuff like that. And we're going to have to talk about our youth a little bit. These kids that like live in a screen world, they play video games.
Right.
24/7. This is the face of like what, man, a hot woman to these kids, right? Like they're not, there's no Pam Anderson running down the beach at Baywatch. You know what I'm saying? There's none of that, right?
There used to be Cheryl Ladd and Cheryl Teagues, man. Remember her, Cheryl Ladd?
Yeah. I mean, who is the oh, dude, she does the New Year's stuff. Sports Illustrated chick, Christy Brinkley's, and
Christy Brinkley.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like the who's the other one? Didn't she hooked up with Seacrest? What's her name?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, hot blonde, right? But like that's the thing, right? It's like these kids. All they're seeing is these Twitch personalities that are being shoved in their face with a
24/7
with a algorithm shoving them in their face. This is the hot. This is the normal. This is what you should be pining
consuming
for, right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's not even a woman. And we wonder why our youth is confused.
Right.
Just saying.
It is.
Just saying.
Right.
Look, any dad out there when your kid starts hitting puberty, take them down to the adult store. Like I'm giving bad advice right now. You shouldn't take any of my advice. Just know, man, like if you want your kid to like experience like a real woman, it's probably not going to be found online by the time that kid gets to that age, right? You're going to have to be creative as a dad. I don't know. I'm still trying to navigate these waters as a father of a young child. Luckily, I got several years before I even have to think about any of this. But it's just so weird to think about kids growing up in this world today. You're going to be confused before you even hit the ground running. That's the scary thing, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, it is scary. It absolutely is.
I don't know. Real men of genius, I'll give it to Dylan. He pulled a genius move. Wasn't popular enough. Became popular real quick overnight using a protected class to get there. And that's
Yep.
the thing about, people who are, really suffer from gender dysphoria and have made a transition and stuff. This is probably even an equal slap in the face to those
Right.
people in the community, right?
Right.
Because
Well, he's doing it for
it's
financial
just
gain.
over the top for financial gain. It's really not
Right.
about who or what you have struggled with in your life. It's
Right.
more or less, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm so
He
wonderful.
found a way
Look
how
at
to
me.
make money. He
Right.
found a way how to.
So
how to
is
make
it a
money.
persona? Maybe
Yeah. Well, hey, they bought it hook, line, and sinker, man. That's all that
Maybe.
matters,
They
I
did.
guess.
They
You
did.
know.
Well, all them rednecks, man. They hold my beer, Fred, and watch this. They're ticked off, to include a lot of country artists.
Typically ridiculous it is for a man to pretend to be a woman and then use every ridiculous stereotype about women. Apparently, women don't know what March Madness is. Did you know that? Did you know that no woman knows what March Madness is? You just thought it was a stressful month. How do women not find this utterly bizarre and insulting? I don't understand.
At least we're not the only ones saying, like, how insulting is this to women?
It is.
Right.
It is insulting.
It really
It's
is. I mean, the
ridiculous.
mockery of their time of the month, the whole 9 yards, everything that this person has put out. Like, where the hell is cancel culture?
Right.
Where the hell is cancel? I mean, like, dude, I guarantee you somebody will try to cancel us or
Only
have our
agenda.
podcast dropped, right? Because of what we're saying on this podcast. But they're not going to go after the person that's actually making jokes about women,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Mocking
I
them.
agree. Yep.
It's crazy. Welcome to Uranus.
And who is the crowd for whom Bud Light is doing this? And the answer is, of course, all of their friends. They're doing this for the earned media. Their assumption is that there won't be a massive number of Bud Light consumers who look at this and go, I'm not buying Bud Light. Like, I'd rather just buy another crappy beer. Like, they think that they can get away
Don't
with
worry,
this
we got
culturally
that list
speaking.
for
And
you,
pretty
too.
much all of the culture thinks this because they live in a magical bubble of their own making. This is all nuttiness, or non-nuttiness, as the case may be. But again, it is not restricted to Dylan Mulvaney. Apparently, according to Breitbart, pop star Lizzo's brand, Yiddy, is launching shapewear for gender non-conforming communities. This includes chest binders for women and tucking thongs for men. I'm sure that is a massive bestseller. Yiddy said, quote, when we say we support everybody, we mean it. We believe in radical self-love for people of all gender identities, including the...
Okay, we can sit here and listen to Ben for a
we
while
can.
if we want,
We got
but
some more
like,
things to
dude,
hit on.
we've got more to hit on, and Rubin Report calls to boycott Bud Light Grow after a new commercial. This is not working out well for Anheuser-Busch, man. It's not.
Bud Light, which I thought, we're always told is the drink of men watching football eating wings. Their new spokesman is Dylan Mulvaney. Now, Dylan Mulvaney, as far as we know, we can Google it again. Brock, you can do it today. Does Dylan Mulvaney still have a penis? Dylan Mulvaney, Brock, Google it. Dylan Mulvaney is the woman, right? Like the trans woman who was in all these videos who Joe Biden brought to the White House and celebrated his or her trans whatever.
Yeah, it was
Okay, fine,
Dylan
but
Mulvaney hanging out with Jen Psaki, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember that. That was just like, wow, this is so over the top, like right in your face. And like they've restricted comments on the White House stuff. If Trump had restricted comments on the White
never hear
House
the end of
feed,
it.
you would have never heard the end of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay, like the minute that this administration took over, to do that, right?
Yeah.
And they even went as far as to like not let you hit the down like button on the White
Yeah.
House feed. I don't know. Maybe there's state-run media. Maybe there's a narrative being pushed upon you and your kids. And normalization 101 says, well, we're going to normalize this. Yeah, we're going to piss off some of the base, right? But the people in power love that. They do. They say, watch her fight. Watch her fight. Look at here. Look at here. I don't drink Bud Light. I'm not PO'd at all. I really am not. I don't drink that crap.
he is now the new spokesman for Bud Light. I don't know what Brock just came up with, but he's cracking up over there, so I'm going to find out as we play this for you. This is Dylan Mulvaney, new Bud Light spokesperson.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us.
Hi.
So,
Imagine this showing up to your table at Buffalo Wild Wings, Mark.
Yeah, I can't deal with this anymore. I've seen this thing so many times. Don,
I know.
It's just,
I know, man. Like it's just,
look at
it's
this.
ridiculous, dude. It's so over the top. All right,
Well,
so let's talk
what do we
about
got?
Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch. These are their products that they, their brands and their products. Budweiser, Bud Light, Kona Brewing, Michelob Ultra, Stella Artois,
Yep.
Australia, Busch Beer, Natty Light, Landshark, El Presidente Beer, Hoegaarden, Shock Top, and their craft partners are 10 Barrel Brewing Company, Blue Point, Cisco Brewers, Nantucket, Elsin, Devil's Backbone, Goose Island, Golden Road Brewing. Like we'll just show all these. There's too many
I
to
guarantee
list.
you they'll be sending letters out to them, you know?
I would just say, like, look, man, I'm safe. I drink Corona. So I'm safe,
Right.
man. You know, until Corona pulls one of these stunts, which I don't think that's gonna happen, man, because most of the people south of the border are just like, no.
What is that beyond beer? What is that, just seltzers or something like that? Is that what that
It's
is?
got to be something like that.
Yeah.
Cutwater, Highball Energy, vodka seltzer, and real juice, and Rita. So I would, you know, I don't know, vote with your dollars, man.
Yeah,
Vote
just
with your
shut them
dollars.
down. They don't get it.
Yeah, it's sad. It's crazy. It's well, it's out of Uranus, man. But don't worry, they're just trying to authentically connect with their audience.
Right.
Well, if they were trying to authentically connect with their audience, they would show up to a tractor pull or a monster truck rally
Yep.
and have a monster truck driving woman sell their beer. I'm just
Right.
saying, right? Moving along, man. Friends of Little Sugar Creek has been given notices to the city of Bentonville.
Yeah.
And the city of Bentonville, if you are not aware, is responsible for the state of Lake Bella Vista.
Yep.
They have refused to remove the remnants of the dam. They used a lawsuit, even though the lawsuit's over with. You know, there is no excuse for them leaving, I don't know, this dam in this state where it's dropping massive
It's an
amounts of
atrocity, man.
concrete. We did
I
Apex.
did a video there a couple weeks ago too, man.
Yeah, you did. And Apex did a video over a year ago
Yep. That's
after
how
it
long
was
it's been.
topped and the breach happened.
Yep.
And we did an open letter to Mayor Orman in conjunction with Friends of Little Sugar Creek. And I'm just going to play this and like remind everybody, this is over a year old.
Yep.
And we
Still
still
in the
have
same
no
situation.
action. Right.
Right.
With this week's overtopping and breach of the dam, it is obvious that the city must take action to prevent a possible catastrophic failure when the dam is overtopped again. The Friends of Little Sugar Creek have continually tried to raise the alarm about the dangers of leaving the derelict dam in place, pointing out the logic that removal is the first step, regardless of the ultimate outcome of the pending case. Now is the time to get the ball rolling instead of giving in to the easy inertia of inaction. That is what led to the loss of hundreds of yards of trail and bank upstream at the bend in the stream by the bridge. There is no telling how much more was lost there after this flood. So much money was spent studying that problem, but nothing has been done there yet. But maybe more talking and thinking while the bank recedes. Will the dam situation be the same? More consideration until the whole thing ends up downstream against the Highway 71 bridge?
That gap's a lot bigger nowadays.
We understand that the problem is not simplistic and will not be fixed overnight. But the first steps must be taken in order to avoid a crisis. Respectfully, a friend of Little Sugar Creek.
Oh, what's that? Propane tank?
Yeah, it's all going downstream, Chris. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to get Greg from Friends of Little Sugar Creek on, talk a little bit more about this. It's so frustrating, man. We've talked about this, I don't know how many times. It's a beautiful area to walk, to bike, to run, and it's just a travesty. And I think you mentioned this several times. As you enter Bella Vista, that's the first thing you see, man.
Yeah,
it's just
It's not even our problem, man. It's the city of Bentonville's problem. And up there by the bridge that crosses over that they've patched, right?
Yep.
The one that's upstream, dude. Even with this last rain event that we had, the improved surface that they tamped down SB2 gravel on. Ride it all the time on my one wheel, man. It's washed out, and
Wow.
it's like you guys need to get your shit together for real.
Well, this is
like
what
doing
happens. You gotta
nothing solves nothing, and the
Right.
city of Bentonville is just as complacent and doing nothing.
It's just
Right,
It's
just shooting from the
dysfunction.
hip and focusing on non-issues versus actual issues that impact the community
Right.
and the local environment. The waterways are precious that we have here in Northwest Arkansas,
Absolutely.
and the amount of crap that I mean,
Contamination going
and the fact
downstream.
that I still see people sitting up there in their little fold-out chairs on the edge of this. This thing is going to fail one day, and you've
Right.
got your family up there doing a picnic.
Right. Well, you got and it's
Act like
flowing
an
into
adult for once in your life. Don't
It's
do that
flowing in-
because it's going to go bad. One
Right.
day it will go bad.
Right. It's flowing into Missouri, Oklahoma. I mean, you're contaminated in other areas along the way. It's too bad because I can remember that whole area in the weekend. It would be hundreds of people walking
Yeah.
that or biking it and having a good time. And now you're just kind of like landlocked,
A lot of people are still walking it, biking it, man. They're just,
But
I
they,
mean, like you can see the look in their eyes when they turn that corner, and they're just like, man, wow, this is really like
but
not
the city of
kosher to ride on, dude.
But the city doesn't even. City of Bentonville they're clueless. They're sitting there and we're waiting for a design. What does the design have anything to do with removing the contaminants?
Nothing, and
Absolutely
nothing. That
nothing.
has nothing to do with cleaning up the mess and the eyesore that's out there as the failed dam. Right? Like they can clean that up. There's no restrictions on cleaning that up and figuring out your plan for the future. But
Right.
get all that crap out of there. Get it out of there. We're tired
Right.
of seeing it, y'all. We really
Yeah.
are. Orman needs to get off her butt, dude. I don't know what she's been doing. She's been sleeping ever since COVID. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she needs to get off her butt and do something about this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, we used a lawsuit. We're in a lawsuit, so we can't do nothing. You use that as an excuse. Well, the lawsuit's over with. Now get off your rear and do something. People
Yeah.
are tired of it.
Waiting for the
Quit
design.
making excuses. Quit making excuses.
Meanwhile, the contaminants just keep on flowing downstream.
Asphalt's really good for fish, right?
All right. Well, and where did that propane
Rebar,
tank go?
concrete, the whole nine. Well, they got the propane tank out of it.
They did get it out. Yeah.
So SB 197 went back on the docket for Wednesday, but nobody talked. So I guess we're gonna have to reach out to Senator Josh Bryant and figure out what the heck happened, Willis.
I don't even know. Everything went dark. Everything went dark. I mean, this is what we talk about having open communication and what's the word I'm looking for, Chris? Transparency. Yeah, transparency. And there's none. There's absolutely nothing. This whole dog and pony show started prior to spring break. Fast forward to what was it? That last week was this clown show again.
Yeah,
Then it came into Monday.
Monday they were there and they said we needed a DFA financial impact statement. And I thought that Bryant was going to take that and run with that and get it back on Wednesday. It was on the docket for Wednesday. I watched the live and it never came up. They talked the majority of the Senate, county, and local affairs meeting was about the XNA airport, regional airport. And I was just shocked that, like, wow, you guys had it on the agenda. Nobody talked about it. Maybe somebody was busy. Maybe somebody was out sick. I don't know. But there
This is
needs to
like
be
the
an
third
answer,
time.
right? Now the state legislators getting ready, they're getting ready to close session. So this will not come back up again. Meanwhile,
Joke.
the court, we were monitoring the Court Connect to figure out, what's happening on the legal side of the avenue, right?
Right.
And
Right. That other piece.
and the finally something came in about 2 days ago on the 4th of April. It looks like Story Law Firm filed a motion request for hearing. Comes now the plaintiffs by and through undersigned counsel and its belief of counsel for plaintiffs. The above captioned case is ripe for hearing on pending temporary motions and dispositive motions. Currently pending are plaintiffs' motions for temporary restraining order and appeal for denial of rights under FOIA, as well as defendants' motions to dismiss. It is the request of the plaintiffs and the court schedule a hearing on the aforementioned matters at its earliest convenience and a duration of argument in the court's discretion through the though counsel anticipates not more than half a day would be necessary. Respectfully submitted, Story Law Firm. And this was filed on the 4th of April, right? We are in April. Yeah, April.
Yep.
By Gregory Floyd Payne from Story Law Firm. The last motion that was filed was on 2/13. And if you actually go in and look at the original filing date, that was on 1/19 is whenever it was filed, right? And then, the city attorney came back with some blah, blah, blahs. Jason Bass Kelly, whatever you want to call him. I call him Perry Mason Jr. He filed an entry of appearance on 1/24 and then a motion, response to the motion on 2/1 and a motion to dismiss on 2/1.
Yeah.
And after around the 13th of February, it just kind of nothing.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure they were waiting on the state legislators to do it. It's in the court's hands at this point.
Well, I mean, how's it going to take a half a day? The judge is going to listen to it. Only going to take about 10 minutes to understand that
this is unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's unconstitutional. I mean, what do you need? There's already precedent for it.
It'll be one to watch, man, because apparently our state legislators, fell asleep.
Yeah, I'm confused. I mean, some people are saying they already voted on it. I don't see any votes. I don't see who voted for what. I saw it on the docket, then it wasn't on the docket, then it was put back on the docket, then they didn't do anything with it. I mean, this is like a comedy of errors, man.
No, it's lobbyists. It's the corrupt political system. Is really what it boils down to. Hopefully, our judicial system in Northwest Arkansas is spot on, and hopefully this judge that's assigned to this case will actually do the will of the people and represent and honor the oath to the Constitution as they took. So that's all I got, bro. That's it.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate
y'all y'all have a great night living in Uranus, and are you guys cool with drop us a comment. Are you guys cool with what's going on? Most of our viewers probably aren't even here right now, but I'm just shocked, bro. I'm shocked, dude.
Yeah, I think they just feel like they can tell you what you're going to consume and you're going to like it no matter what, and this is the way it's going to be, and it's just not going to happen with me, man. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to be told what to consume. Are you
pulling an Eric Cartman on me, man? Whatever, I do what I want. Whatever, I do what I want.
No, you know what I'm saying. It's ridiculous, man. It's just.
It doesn't sound very inclusive of you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Somebody telling me that, I got to accept a man parading around talking about his time in the month isn't very inclusive to my lifestyle or what I believe in. Yeah. It's theatrics and it has no basis in the real world. No. I think the real world aspect of life, man, is we can sit here and talk about, the past and the future all we want, but the only real moment that you're living in is the moment that you're living in. And I'm not cool with half of the crap that's going on anymore.
No. And people need to call it out for what it is, and it's just pure propaganda. That's all it is at the end of the day. You know,
and
it's an
confusing
agenda.
to
It's
our
agenda
youth.
driven.
It's disrespectful to women. It's confusing to our youth, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and just brush.
It's a hard
over it.
no.
No, it's a hard pass, and sorry if it offends you, but I'm entitled to my opinion as well. You know, I'm not wishing harm on nobody. Really, I'm not.
No.
I just I can't get down with this clown town world that we're living in. So maybe we're better off over in Uranus. I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, brother.
All right. Well, y'all have a great evening. We'll catch you tomorrow on a regularly scheduled program. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit up the merch shop. I know we don't pump that merch shop up enough. Maybe we gotta start doing something with that merch shop. Anyhow, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Have a great
Good night,
evening.
everybody.
Latest.
Take a stand, everybody, come take my hand, walk this road together.